Magnificent Moneyfesting Monday to all the magnificent heart centered female entrepreneurs that I know out there. Hello, if you're joining us for the first time, let me know if you want to know how to leverage your energy to manifest money, because that's what we're going to talk about in today's show. Exactly what is that power that helps you to manifest more money easily? Hello and welcome. If this is your first time joining us, I am Evie. I am a financial empowerment speaker, financial trauma healer, and the creator of the simplest method of manifesting financial freedom, which I call the FAB money scripting method. And today I have a very special guest with me, and I'll tell you a little bit because I want you to understand how and why I decided to invite her today to join us. Now, remember, whether this is your first time or you've been here before, whether you're on the live or the replay, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel right now because you don't want to miss any of our upcoming shows. And by the way, talking about our upcoming shows, note this: we come live every Monday for a show we call MoneyFest Mondays, like today, and on Friday for our financially free Fabpreneurs Flow. So make sure you tune in on Fridays. So I want to encourage you also to introduce yourself there in the chat. Ask questions, tell us about your business, and whether you're in the live or the replay, make sure that you ask questions because I'll come back to check out any responses or any comments right there in the chat. So make sure you do that now. And so now let me go ahead and introduce this fabulous woman that I have next to me. She is someone that I met this year. So it's a recent friend, and I met her through my spiritual community at Unity. And just so that you get a sense of her attractive energy, her attractive personality, and the power of energy, I will tell you how I met her, which, by the way, coincides with something I teach. So I was traveling, and as many of you may know by now, I have a little baby bunny whose name is Bubby. And this lady right here, she's in charge of our prayer chaplaincy program. And I am a prayer warrior, and I love to pray. So I'm part of a prayer chaplaincy program at my spiritual community. So we were on a call, and because I knew, or I thought she knew, a lot of people, I asked her, do you know anyone who could take care of my Bubby? That is Bubby the bunny, which, by the way, she has her own Instagram page. And she said, I can take care of her. And I said, what? She said, yeah, I'll take care of her. So she offered. And I'll tell you that I was immediately impressed and shocked. I said, wow, such a nice person to just offer this. And by the way, I immediately asked her, well, how much do you charge? And she said, oh, I'll gladly do it for free. So I want you to understand something. What she did, I asked, and I go back to this concept that I share often, which, by the way, is biblical for those of you that are spiritual. I asked and I received, which is a concept we often speak about here at Fabpreneurs. So I asked and I received because she gave me. And the reason why was because of the energetic exchange. And with that, I want to tell you more about her, but first I'm going to let her introduce herself. So why don't you tell everyone your name, your profession, what do you do, the name of your company, and what is the solution that you offer and how you help people in the world?
Hi, my name is Isabel Narro. I'm a mental health counselor. I'm a creator of Counseling and Medical Associates, a company that provides individual couples, family sessions to people that have these major issues, either with their families, with their relationships, mental health, major diagnosis, situations, traumas, anyway, to move from point A to point B, to feel better. And also run First Accredited Home Care, which is a company that dedicates their services to the elderly population, to the handicapped, disabled people, children that have learning disabilities and growth limitations, So we love this service that we provide, because it's not about just the quality and the care. It's about bringing compassion, genuine love, and making them feel like a family. So it's a beautiful thing that people like we're one of them. There's many companies that provide the same services, but how can we do sometimes something different? We are in the journey. So about the energy that we bring, I think it's about discovering what helps, what people likes, what is the pain that's in there, that we can provide some solution. So many people want their loved ones to be treated as their mom, as their auntie, as their granny. So that's something that brings the human side, the caring side of each one of us to treat a new client like the family members, right? And in counseling is to provide compassion, care, listen the client, be there, because sometimes we are not good listeners. Sometimes we go boom, boom, boom to talk, and we lose this connection that we all need to feel, understood, to feel guided, to feel enlightened. So I'm glad and thank you so much. It's an honor, true privilege to be here with you, Evie, in this fantastic, fabulous program for women.
I love it. And by the way, if you're a heart center female entrepreneurs, this show is for you. And perhaps you could relate to Isabel. Maybe you're a therapist, maybe you're a healer. What I want to know is, are you feeling, are you sensing this wonderful energy that this woman has? Because it is that energy that she puts out that helps people naturally feel attracted to her. And that's what I want to talk about. The energy that we put out there is really helping us to either attract or keep away what we want and who we want in our life. So today the topic is how to leverage your energy to manifest more. And I kind of put a general instead of just more money, but by now you probably know that our emphasis here at Fabpreneurs is to focus more on helping, empowering, inspiring heart-centered female entrepreneurs to manifest more money and become financially free. And today I want to talk about that energy. Isabel, what do you believe it means to have the energy of abundance or the energy of money? Are they different?
I think we create this energy on the way we approach, to the source. If this is about money, how I am approaching to this energy of money. I am approaching out of fear, out of my traumas, out of my old beliefs, out of scarcity, or I am approaching this energy of money out of, the abundance, out of the unlimited possibilities, out of this, out of love, out of giving and receiving, out of this creativity that I can wake up every morning. I think on the many ways that I can give, either $1, $5, the thank you, the gift, the unexpected, surprise that we can give to others, in the many ways that we can approach a situation. So to me, this energy, it's about me setting up myself on how can I handle situations, experiences, how creative can I be with these resources that I have. It's not about just numbers, bank accounts, how many do I have. It's about how I'm using it, how I'm being generous with it. So, and that creates even more flow, more beautiful energy to continue giving and creating more space here in me and also in the other one. Maybe I'm enlightening this person also to give back, not necessarily to me, but to somebody else. How many times have we feel like close to Thanksgiving or close to Christmas? Sometimes there is a little bit of sadness, a
Mhm.
little bit of discourage on going shopping because we see these stores flowing with so many gifts and so many possibilities to buy, and we're still a little sad because our logos are not here, whatever, whatever. But someone sends you a note, a beautiful, nice, small gifts, and it's like, wow, oh my God, it has happened to me. And that sparkle, the light to start giving, shopping, the energy of just let me make my list, let me go order this and this and this. A little something helps, but also let's make a space for that, to receive.
I absolutely love that. And by the way, let me just tell you a few things that she said. And if you're watching, make sure that you join us. She recently joined our free Fabpreneurs group on Facebook, which is part of our bigger community. And so down below, I'm putting the link so that if you are a heart center female entrepreneur like me and like Isabel, you can join us for free on Facebook. Now, I want to go ahead and kind of share a little bit of what I just gathered from what she just shared. One of the words that Isabel mentioned is love. Now, that is such a high vibrating word. Now, for some of you, if you may not be aware, I follow the teachings of Dr. Hawkins, MD, PhD. Although he's no longer with us, he left a powerful legacy. One of his main books, Power versus Force, he did several kinesiology research where he was muscle testing lots of people under lots of different situations, and he was measuring their energy. And the reason why I'm bringing up his work is because it's so important for us to understand the power of energy. As you know by now, everything is energy. Money has energy. Everything is energy. So the question is, how are you vibrating in alignment with the energy of abundance? And I'm bringing this up to you because Isabel mentioned how she is. And as you notice, she was feeling into it, right? And she expressed about love. And it's so important because the energy of love, according to Dr. Hawkins, calibrates at a very high level. In other words, when you are vibing at the energy of love, you are more likely than not to be able to manifest more. And yes, I mean manifest more money. And when you get into that vibe, as you probably are feeling, Isabel, because the reason why I decided to interview is because Isabel has that vibe without a shadow of a doubt. Every time I'm around Isabel, it's just this energy of just openness, abundance, and yes, love.
Thank you.
She calibrates high at the energy of love. And because of that, I believe she's a very an abundant person, which by the way, abundance encompasses many things. You could have an abundance of friends, which I'm sure she has because she has that energy of love that attracted me and attracts people to her, right? And because of her energy, she attracted abundance in family. She doesn't know this, but I told one of her daughters that I met here this week to tell me about her mom. And her daughter, which by the way is just as beautiful and lovely and heart center as her mom, just said, I adore my mom. I hold her in such high esteem. She spoke so beautifully about her mom. And I asked her because I wanted to see someone that knew her deeply, how she experienced her. Because this woman is a woman that you want to experience. And I brought her on because that's who and how we want to be. We want to be that way. And of course, I brought Isabel because lately Source has been guiding me, and I've been asking myself, and I encourage you to ask yourself too, what might be an area of my life that I can improve energetically or mindfully to change what and how I'm manifesting. Now, let me make sure that I unfold this for you. I believe that for us to really enjoy financial freedom, we have two components that we want to work with. One is the money mindset, which, if you've been subscribing to my emails, you know I've been talking about money mindset. And the other one is the energy of money. And the combination of both is really what allows us to live a financially free life because you could be very positive. In other words, you can work with your mindset. But if your energy is not aligned, you're not going to be consistently manifesting. Now, I want to ask for that. What do you think about that? Do you think that that is true? In other words, do you think you could have the most positive mindset in the world, but let's say your energy is not aligned? In other words, let's say that you're constantly complaining or judging other people or speaking ill of other people. Do you think that that is aligned in a way that allows you to manifest more consciously anything and everything you want?
I think, as you were saying, Evie, energetically, either we approach, we attract, we are magnetics, or, it retracts, it goes away. Same thing with energy, with our experiences, with what we bring to the table. It will it will become money, this energy, our boss, or we are the slaves of money, or we are the boss. And money is one of my sources. I still have to find a way on put myself, my love, my integrity, my dignity above, because it's being experiences. And I have heard clients saying, "Hey, I wanted to marry a rich guy, and I attracted this rich guy, but I didn't put limits, I didn't put boundaries about what I was asking. And I married this guy from, let me not mention the name of the country, but it was an illegal business. And 2 years of beautiful trips and experiences, but then he was caught, he's sentenced for life.
Yeah.
And we end up bankrupt because everything was taken out of his ownership, out of his hands. So he said, I attracted, but I didn't say someone that, knows, has ethics, has dignity, is honest, and it's in a more permanent basis, because we can attract it, have it, but boom, all of a sudden goes because we are not prepared, right, to hold it. And that's something that we sometimes struggle. Sometimes I have struggled in the past, same way, on creating this abundance, on having and making the flow come. But we were immature. So we let it flow out carelessly sometimes. Mistakes, bad debts, this and that. So later, after all these painful experiences and big losses, we come out to a conclusion. So next time take decisions carefully, and this is what's the intention of this exchange, right? My intention has to be pure, just loving, without expecting anything, without expecting recognition, without expecting, not feeding the ego. It's mostly about feeding the love of who we are, feeding and maybe helping someone with a need. They are probably sad, alone, and you give something that's the joy that it's giving to this person. You know what? It's giving me love. It's giving me the joy back. You can
There.
have no idea when we do something good to somebody, the good that it's already growing in us.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. And what we teach at the Fabpreneurs movement and membership is we teach first, begin each day with an intention. So today, I want you to write in your journal, in your notebook, what is my intention for today? Because today, my intention is really to vibrate at the energy of love, which could be friendship, which could be giving, which could be sharing. And I brought Isabel today because Isabel, by the way, is a manifestation of my own. I wanted to meet a good friend that I could become friends with. And I manifested her because she has good energy, pure energy, loving energy. And I wanted to bring her as an example because number one, I asked for a good friend and I'm receiving her friendship and I notice her energy. And I want to speak a little bit more about this because I have always I have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars on world renowned speakers, authors, mentors, and trainers, internationally well known. And a lot of them focus on my mindset. And I needed that because I had a very negative and scarcity mindset. And what I noticed when I started healing my financial trauma, that there was a misalignment between the mindset and the heart. Okay. And it happens probably to many of us that I'm attracting here because I'm a very analytical person. My background initially, I started as a psychotherapist. Years ago, I was a drug and alcohol counselor. So I was always in the mind. And what I've discovered is we want to make a shift from the mind to the heart. And by the way, a lot of this stuff comes not only from the work of Dr. Hawkins, but also the Heart Math Institute. I encourage you to Google Heart Math Institute to look at all the research that scientists, neurologists, psychologists, and psychiatrists are doing about this work of moving from the mind to the heart. And that's why I brought Isabel, because you heard her talk about good feelings, you heard her talk about love. And what I have experienced is that even though I had the whole mindset, I knew all the books, I had trained with so many people, that my energy wasn't always in alignment. In other words, sometimes I felt guilt. And by the way, all emotions are good emotions. In other words, sometimes we call them negative emotions. Here in our community, we don't use the word negative emotions. All emotions are valid. We call them lower vibrating, higher vibrating, or limiting and empowering. I understood that my limiting emotions, like guilt, fear, desire, because yes, Dr. Hawkins says the word desire and yearning are limiting. When I move from that to one of the things that psychotherapists use a lot, which is willingness. So, for example, let's say you are feeling scared. Oh, I'm going to give or pay for a course or a training, and I'm scared I'm not going to make the money back, or I'm scared I'm not going to learn something. So, number one, you're coming from a lower vibrating emotion. You're coming from scarcity thinking, because there is thinking also happening. So, the result of that will probably be less than what you want, less than what you deserve. So, how do we move from feeling fearful, scared, to moving a little higher? Well, if you've ever been to therapy, you know that usually psychotherapists ask before you start a treatment, are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing to shift from either thinking that way or feeling that way? And when you say you're willing, you immediately start vibrating at a higher level. Because according to Dr. Hawkins, willingness, that idea of willingness, calibrates higher. And believe it or not, if you're going from willingness, you can go to from being sad and scared to angry. Anger calibrates higher than feeling guilt or shame. So you want to start calibrating higher. And the reason why I brought Isabel with the idea of love, because love in the scale of consciousness calibrates at a 500. And guess what, my friends? 500 is the level of manifestation. So we want to start calibrating higher. But I want to ask Isabel, how do you present yourself, or how do you carry that energy from, let's say, your family, which I saw with your daughter, to your friends that I've seen with me, to your business? How do you take that? In other words, because I saw it already. I'm asking you so that you could teach people. What I saw is, gee, Isabel is loving towards me, which to me means she's vibrating at a high energy. I asked her daughter privately because I wanted to find out, what do you think of your mom? How's your mom? So I found out that in private, intimate moments, who Isabel is a loving person. But then I notice, as we've been here, by the way, I'm in her home, beautiful home she has, and we're doing a training together. She's been on the phone with her staff, and she has a huge staff in one of her businesses. And I notice how she is with them, loving. So she continues this high vibe. What can you share? What can you teach women who may be misaligned between their thoughts? Oh, I intend to feel good and be good and treat everyone with respect, and actually doing it the way that I have witnessed. I have
Yeah,
witnessed you be. How can people learn that? Is that something you can teach?
I think it's something that comes with integrity, but also there is an intention, right? You were saying, we're talking about willingness as well, the love. So, what is behind this willingness? There is readiness. And you are ready when? When you have experienced what? Darkness, probably, scarcity, right? Pain. So, what else is behind that? Maybe it's some traumas. So, it comes to the point where you don't want that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When we identify this is who I was, This is where I have been, and this is not what I want. I want something better. And we are manifestors. We can co create energy, experiences, and we have to prepare ourselves for that. If I continue being and doing the same thing I used to do before, right? Thinking that this is for me, thinking that, whatever I'm making is for me for savings, for my trips, and for my own choices, and not giving back. So the moment we practice this giving back to people, to our nurses, and that giving back is not just about material thing, about money. It's the energy, as you were saying, the energy of I care, I see you, I am here also with you. I hear your pain. I feel you're uncomfortable with this situation, but let's do this together. Like a client was with two daughters. I mean, a son and a daughter who are mentally ill, but then this nurse is unable to provide services in a situation where there is a lot of limitations. Besides mental illness, there is no soap, no shampoo for the aide to do the care. So what something that we said is Jorge and I said, hey, tell us what else you need. We can do a delivery, and that already to the client and everybody else is kind of like, ooh, some peace. Because yes, there is choices, there is answers to situations like that. I've been there, you've been there, maybe, I don't know. But when, if I don't have something, someone offers me that choice, okay? So the nurses can leave. Yes, we're gonna do the delivery of the materials, the things that she needs to provide a good care to this client. So we smooth the situation. How many times can we do that in innumerable experiences? And it's not just at home that we do with our loved ones because it's so easy,
Mhm.
right? To be loving and caring with my daughter, with someone that works for me. What about with other people? What is this kindness when we find someone, outside our scope of services as well? A homeless, a neighbor, somebody that we meet on the streets. So that's where we are tested. And as much as we can give, and as much as we are blessed with all these beautiful experiences and situations, there is always something challenging up that is asking for you to give more of your love, more of your compassion, because there is even more circumstances that are going to be more difficult. So that's the moment that even in the more tough experiences, we can still grow above and still provide our kindness, our love, our compassion. Then after that, the money, the flow, this comes as a result.
I love that. Now, before
Mm.
I ask you the last question, I have a question because the last question will be for you to tell us about your business so that people can check out your website. But before that, right now, there may be someone that will watch this that may be thinking, the thing is, I'm not making any money right now. My business is not doing as well. I'm just paying the bills slowly, the best way I can. How can they begin implementing some of these wonderful things that you share? How can they begin implementing that so that they can elevate their energy, so that they can elevate their consciousness? How can they start implementing if right now in the current moment they may not be seeing yet the finances and maybe they're scarce?
That's the question. They're already making the right decision on saying, hey, I have these limitations. My business is not growing. We don't see this, flowing the way we would like to flow, their incomes and paying all the debts. I already identifying what's going on. I have not been focused. I have not put all the energy. I haven't researched all the possibilities. I haven't used the media. I haven't done the marketing. I haven't made those calls. What about if everybody that knocked the door were already my client right here, where I should be, right? So if my neighbor has done it, if Isabel has done it, I can do it too, right? What is stopping me? The sky is the limit. So it's a little bit of a mind shift and say, okay, remember the lemonade stand
Yeah.
that we experience? How creative can we become on the unlimited possibilities that we can run this business that a different way, upgraded with more creativity and add little things that will make us a little bit different than the rest. So find ways on how can I do this lemonade stand, the best lemonade stand in the world, right? How can I clean this place? How can we present each other? The energy we can bring, maybe the offer of if someone comes in the line and is dancing and is doing the twist, oh, an extra lemonade. So they
Using
can
your
go,
own resources, right? You don't have to have a lot. You
right?
begin with the mindset and the energy because you're talking about dancing, shift this energy. Um, to end our interview today, can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do in counselingandmedical.com?
Yes. In counseling, we have clients that come with the pain. And to me, that's the readiness. When they knock the door, that's powerful. They knock the door and they say, hey, I'm tired of feeling this way. My relationship is not working. I feel stuck. I feel emotionally in the same place. I really need some guidance. I really need some help here. Want to feel better, right? So that's the readiness that we need, the openness to listen, to be guided. And you know what is the best thing it can happen? That when the therapists, the coaches listen and ask the questions to the client knows what needs to be doing. They know exactly where they are and where they want to go and what is stopping them in the way. What are the roadblocks?
And
What are the obstacles? And they know it's all of them can be overcome.
so, who do you work with? Do you work with, because in case someone checks out counseling and medical, which I hope you do you work with women, children, couples? Who do you work with?
Mostly couples.
Mostly
That's my
couples.
ideal.
Okay.
But
And
also
couples
individuals.
that are having what?
Dysregulation between them and how to help them see where they are and do a thorough assessment and add forgiveness and add journaling and add these interactions that help them connect because every act of unkindness is also a call for love.
I love that. And so I want to thank you for being here with us today. And then I want to take this opportunity to also remind everyone that today you want to begin minding your energy because today we talked about energy. Let's focus on our intention of moving from our heads to our hearts. If you find yourself constantly thinking and being so in your mind, be still. We've heard that also from the Lord. Be still and know, and go into your heart because your fabulous, financially free fabpreneur future self lives within you. She wants to emerge. And it all begins by you tapping into the good feelings that you have, the feelings of love, okay, the feelings of peace. And that comes when we're able to move just from working on, geez, I have a negative mindset, to moving into who do I want to be? What identity? Remember, in our FAB money scripting, the first step is to feel. You know, we want to begin feeling the way that we intend to feel. So, in other words, if you're feeling like you're fearful because there's not enough, how can you move from feeling that way to feeling grateful, to feeling satisfied, to feeling joyful, to feeling at peace? How can you move that way? Then the second step is to take actions because when you take actions, you move. And it might be to shift your energy from focusing on the fear and the anxiety and the not having to moving into, do I have someone I love in my family? Is there someone that loves me? And then, of course, the third step in our FAB money scripting method is to be. Remember, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And what type of being do you want to be? A being of light, a being of love. What type of being am I being today? Ask yourself that as you grab your journal and you write. And I encourage you to practice the FAB money scripting method. And for now, I want to remind you, this is the best time for you to put your name on our waiting list for MoneyFest 2025, our yearly conference. This year, again, we're having it virtually. This is our six-year anniversary for our conference, and it's called MoneyFest 2025, and it is for all heart-centered female entrepreneurs, women in business. And remember, put your name by going to moneyfest2025.com, or you can look down below. We have the name, the URL for you to check it out. And also, by the way, if you're a small businesswoman, this year, for the first time, we're giving away our Small Businesswoman of the Year award. So nominate yourself or nominate a business owner so that we can gift them a beautiful gift. And it's all on moneyfest2025.com. You will see it's over $1,000 worth of prizes and award that you get for being the Fabpreneurs Small Businesswoman of the Year. And we're doing that because October here in the United States is Small Business Women Month. And we are honoring all the small business women like Isabel, who are out there making a difference as they make money. And by the way, in that order. And that's one of the lessons also that Isabel taught us today. Make a difference, because when you make a difference, then you manifest more. So remember that. So thank you so much for being here with me. I so appreciate you. You're such a
Thank you so
blessing in my
much for
life.
inviting me.
I love it. I had to do it because I
So
wanted
much-
people
so
to
much fun.
experience you. Because, and by the way, like Isabel, that should be our intention today. I want people to experience me because I wanted you to experience her. So how could we go about today and say, I want people to experience me? And what am I? I am love, and I am an expression of love, and I am being experienced as love. So go ahead and do that today. So for now, I'm Evie Diaz of evdiaz.com, financial empowerment speaker, financial trauma healer, and the founders of the Fabpreneurs movement and MoneyFest2025.com. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.